All right, I'm rolling ads, and we're gonna go right into it.
Okay.
Make sure your in-game mic's open too.
Yep, it is.
Sweet.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Canada Cup Season 7. We've got another heated best-of-3 matchup tonight. This is the second to last day of Canada Cup Season 7. This is FDL versus Void Boys, or the new Drag Neil squad, the Drag Boys, the Void Neils, whichever name you prefer. They will be our Radiant squad here for game number 1. This is a lower bracket best-of-3. The lower bracket finals winner of this has Digital Chaos awaiting them to battle for first or second place in this tournament. I'm Zyori, joined tonight by Purge. Purge, it's been a while since you've joined us for Canada Cup. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Been very busy flying around the world and stuff. Always like casting Canada Cup, but unfortunately just have been all over the place. So, but here I am now.
Yep. It should be a good one. We saw this new Void Boys squad yesterday. They did lose to DC fairly handily. I think that's somewhat to be expected. FDL, it's been a little while since we've seen them. They've just been waiting in the lower bracket. They actually got a free win over Complexity just a couple days ago. So lucky for them, unfortunate for Complexity that they had to drop out after making it so far in the tournament. But FDL did get a small stroke of luck to make it this far. Now guaranteed top 3.
Yeah, it's pretty cool for them. Both of these teams recently played in the open qualifiers or in the regional qualifiers as well. And during that, I believe FDL was able to beat Void Boys 2-0. But to be honest, both teams look pretty even. So it'll be interesting to see how they've changed in the last week.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oracle first pick for FDL, and Beastmaster Lifestealer here, the opener for the Void Boys. Both teams kind of taking their time with the opening of this draft, but there he is, nice and early, the Terror Blade. We saw him banned out a little bit yesterday, but FDL putting him in a whole new level of priority here.
It's a great thing to open with as well against Lifestealer, just because you can Sunder against him. It was really the first place that Terror Blade first got picked, at least in Manila, was against Lifestealer when Lifestealer was seen as a bit of a problem. So it's a great pick here. With Oracle on the combo, it's also looking pretty good since you can obviously keep him alive and guarantee the Sunder use. But it's very common for FDL to grab Oracle this early. So they're a team that values it higher than almost any other team.
Yeah, it seems like if you have a player that can really maximize on the Oracle, it's unbelievably powerful. But it reminds me of Earth Spirit a little bit. There's just that extra little skill cap where the hero can be very high priority if you have somebody that can handle it. But if you don't, can kind of become a liability, especially with Oracle. There's so many spells that, save you from magic, but don't allow you to auto attack, things that can be super clutch, but also, mess up perfect engagements.
Yep, it has lots of strengths, but there's many weaknesses as well, and that's why we don't really see Oracle picked in first phase. But FDL really likes it. It must fit their playstyle. It does limit your ability to roam with supports. You can't land stuns. You can't. Yes, you do damage, but you have to rely on somebody else to do the stunning. So there's less ways that Oracle can fit into a draft, and makes it a bit harder generally.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that the Void Boys were the ones that actually banned out the Riki. They didn't have first pick, but they could have prevented the Riki Lifestealer combo from getting into the hands of FDL. But they still go with the Lifestealer themselves. So they opt for the Beastmaster, I think likely to be the off-laner, position 3, that just goes Iron Talon straight into the jungle. We've seen so much off-lane sacrificing in Canada Cup in particular. That just seems to be what all the teams are comfortable doing right now for the most part.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to open Beastmaster. It's just so safe. Like, you can play 4 position fairly safely. You can play it offlane. It gives you tons of options, and you can react to your opponent's strategies.
Yeah, Lion now, another good Infest Bomb carrier for the Void Boys. Once he gets a Blink Dagger, just kind of the mobile death squad here with a Finger of Death follow-up. And a Darkseer, nice safe off-laner. Lifestealer, one of the better safe lane carries to deal with the Ion Shell Feast. Kind of lets him deal with that damage, having Rage as well. But can still pressure that lane quite a bit.
Yeah, good against Terrorblade. That's probably the best thing about it. It's just because you can one-shot illusions with Mana Drain and Hex. But all the other aspects of the hero are also valued and worth picking even without that. So I think Void Boys is kind of getting all the heroes they want to. Even Elder Titan is the hero that's been banned in first round by a lot of top teams. So Void Boys draft looks pretty solid right now. It's maybe a little weak on being diverse, but Elder Titan versus Terrorblade's amazing because it just completely counteracts all of his base armor. It's going to be something like 25 armor in the late game. Like, Void Boys draft just looks real good right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably something that we should have mentioned during that second banning phase. A little surprised that FDL banned out, someone like the Storm Spirit over the Elder Titan just because of how strong that counter is. I mean, Terrorblade has like 10 armor at level 6. In the mid game, he's up there 15.
He's got 10 armor at level 1 now.
He starts 10?
Yes, it used to be 7. They increased it by 3. This is why Terrorblade is picked. One of the many reasons.
All right, so I underestimate it.
Real
Even
good.
better for Elder Titan. In those mid-game fights, it turns him from really beefy to pretty squishy, actually. He's still a relatively low HP hero in those early levels.
Yeah, on his in his defense, though, he's still going to have Oracle to back him up. He's still going to have Ion Shell in the early game, Surge, things like that. He's got decent options for doing damage and staying alive, even if his armor goes away. And Lifestealer is the one here he's got to deal with. He's a great Lifestealer solution, either with Sunder or just with the mass amount of physical damage that he outputs. So it's a good TB game. The Void Boys have some pretty good solutions and counters, but they could back up the Terrorblade, and he could get a lot done.
Yeah, I've got high hopes here. I like this support duo as well. Lion and Elder Titan does provide a lot of control. They're Radiant side, so now you've got Echo Stomp that can often delay things in the Roche Pit at the very least to be a scouting tool. Does open up some options for the team. And even just, once level 6s come online, there's a lot of damage these two heroes can put out. One of the things about Elder Titan that stood out to me at the TI6 hub was we talk a lot about natural order. That's the one of the main talking points anytime Elder Titan comes up. But Earth Splitter is an amazing ultimate on a support towards the late game. We've seen that Elder Titan Void combo a lot, and it's devastating to a lot of those carries it does percentage damage. So, like a CK, for example. He's got 4k HP. How are they going to deal with this? Well, Elder Titan may be one of the best position 4 heroes or position 5 heroes to have in that kind of a late game scenario.
Yeah, it is really good. And obviously his aura makes it do more damage. So combos very nicely with Roar is probably going to be how he uses it. Maybe Hex or Spike kind of stuff. There's a lot of ways that he can combo it. But primarily his job this game is counter initiation. Whenever Terrorblade splits illusions, he's going to stomp them and try to keep them disabled as long as possible. So it should be a good Elder Titan game. Same King pick up by FDL though. It's an instant stun. They really needed a disable to do anything against Lifestealer other than kill him with physical damage, but having a disable really helps. The magic burst is pretty nice. They also have vacuum burrow strike with epicenter, so you could hypothetically see a wombo combo that just ends everything. Other than that though, I'm not the biggest fan of Sand King, although I guess Oracle plus Sand King is kind of good. They kind of cover each other's failings. Oracle doesn't have a stun. Sand King doesn't have that much damage in the laning stage, so they kind of can actually get a lot done. It's going to be a huge threat to Beastmaster in the offlane, I think.
Yeah. Well, now Death Prophet, final choice for FDL. Great mid laner. We've seen banned out a lot, honestly. Queen of Pain and TA, the final bans, as both teams are looking for their mid heroes. Few better than the Death Prophet right now. Just a complete lane dominator. And Tinker for the Void Boys. So, seeing final pick. Not one I would have predicted here, but makes their high ground defense really strong. Elder Titan, Tinker, two heroes really good at defending when your opponents are locked in that kind of tight alleyway.
Yeah, and it gives them an Infest Bomb once Tinker gets Blink Dagger. I think it's a pretty good choice. It gives him a lot of burst ability that can blind the Terrorblade as well, so he won't be able to attack. I don't know if you get Aether Lens and Ags if the laser will bounce to his illusions or just heroes, but I assume it's illusions and heroes, probably. So I think the Tinker pick's pretty good here. Just tons of burst damage. Oracle can't always stop against that, although he does have some solutions. The pick I'd rather talk about, though, is, well, first of all, Void Boys banned out. Who was their last ban? It was a physical I'm sorry, who'd you say?
TA, Templar Assassin.
Oh yeah, TA, yeah, because that's a good lifestealer solution. It's physical damage, so it would have synergized there pretty well, and it would have given them good offensive potential to get kills. But they went for Death Prophet instead, kind of similar. The hero's not super reliant on base armor, so she can get away with being a little weak against Elder Titan, but not too weak. And she has silence and disables nukes, and can generally stay alive. So Death Prophet plus Oracle makes the Oracle pick look way better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some natural synergy with Oracle and Terrorblade. Just sometimes buy him that time if he's stun locked so we can get off the Sunder, same with Shallow Grave, Terrorblade, those kind of things. Sort of like Dazzle Alchemist a little. You can keep the Alchemist alive. He has a regeneration tool. He can get back to an acceptable level of HP. But you're right. Oracle is so good in any situation where there's another heal to help with that false promise. And for Death Prophet, if she gets ulted, she's pretty much going to be saved every time. Spirit Siphon healing her up. Exorcism eventually will do some heal at the end. I like it. It makes the pick make more sense now, kind of why they prioritize it so much. I will say yesterday, Symbol of Peace, this is Clairvoyance for those that don't know. He played an Elder Titan in Game 2. They did get 2-0'd by DC, but Game 2 was much closer, and the Elder Titan play from him was actually really impressive. He was like 4-0-3 around 15 minutes, very active in the early game, and I expect him to put a lot of pressure on in terms of poking into the jungle, and anyone who wants to sit back, get their Iron Talon on and just farm up. He's going to put pressure on that. It looks like Sand King will go boots first, so he's going to be roaming around, and I think Darkseer will probably stay in the off lane a little bit. But yesterday we saw him spend a lot of time in the enemy jungle on an Elder Titan in this kind of position. Uh-oh, we've got some problems
he's already
here, though.
doing really good things too. He walked up to this ward spot where there's a sentry, and he just stood there to feign that he had placed a ward, and then he started walking away. Instantly, Oracle put a sentry down. So he had no intention of warding there. He only had a sentry of his own. Maybe he was going to consider seeing where his opponent was and try to deward, but he basically already baited 100 economic damage out of the Oracle. It's a nice move. There's lots of mind games like that you can do, actually, and not that many players or teams even try it.
Yeah, it's true. We're seeing more and more teams now just TP into lane right away so they can get those wards down, try to keep that intel to themselves. But you don't think about the flip side. I also often hear my co-casters say, like, if a Lion is maybe over here or something in the early stage of the game, well, there's no reason he's going to be near the Roche Pit on that side unless he's warding the plateau there. But, if people assume that's what you're doing, you can just walk that way and bait out some sentries. I like the logic you're going with here.
So they put on some defensive wards on the mid lane. They do need to protect Tinker. I would say that he's definitely very important, because if they delay Tinker's game, it's a later Boots of Travel, which is a later Blink Dagger, which means later Infest Bombs. So it could really limit what Lifestealer can get for kills in the mid game. So very important that they can defend Tinker from getting killed repeatedly, especially with the Oracle Sand King combo in the game. If Sand King gets like level 3, him and Oracle and another mid hero can definitely kill Tinker very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're completely right. The Tinker Snowball is the thing you have to slow down before the BOTs come out. I feel like Tinker picks are a little bit of a gamble these days, because he is a hero that can be rotated on pretty easily with just a couple of early smokes, and if he doesn't get his timely BOTs, it slows him down just so much.
It really does, yeah. It's going to come down to stacks and things like that as well. FDL can't really clear stacks super well unless they have Darkseer or Sand King there, so maybe we'll see some counter stacking, but as you can see from wards, it's pretty defensive coming from Void Boys.
Yep, lane setup's going to be fairly straightforward here. It'll be a 1-2-2 to get things started for Void Boys. Snake King goes straight into the jungle on the Beastmaster with the Iron Talon, and for now, Clairvoyance goes off lane on the Elder Titan. Maybe we'll leech a little bit of experience, but I think we'll see him move around, and a lot of that lane will be spent empty. A 2-1-2 from FDL, though, kind of interesting. Franz on the Sand King will start off down bottom with MJW, and they're going to put some pressure on. Patsoul could fall victim to a stun. No, it's the Omega Pawner that connects on 2. I'll stop the aggression for now.
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't see his skill or not, but he has skilled Feast. I assume he's hit 1 creep. They should have been able to tell that he had Feast. They may just have chosen that they didn't want to stun there, but they could have done some good damage. Either way, I like this dual lane. 2 melee heroes, 2 Ion Shells, Sand King has boots already. It's an instant stun, so it gives them a way to pressure the Lifestealer and make him a little bit scared. So it's a good lane setup for FDL here. I like it.
Yep, and already pulling into the side camp here. It's been double stacked and battle to leech XP and try and snipe some of the last hits. Clairvoyance is actually having an okay time in the off lane so far. One of the nice things about Elder Titan is he is a relatively high effective HP hero in the early levels. 3 armor, but 720 hit points. He's pretty beefy. He can afford to be a little forward in the lane. and take
It's
some of
not
the
bad.
harassment.
And he's very fast too, 315 movement speed. So
Yeah.
all around decent at doing this kind of roaming support or roaming off lane basically against the solo support. They can get this done.
Yeah, now
He's
he's
doing
just
a
going to
ton
go
of damage.
blow for blow there. When you get that Spirit damage, it's actually ridiculous when you compare his auto attacks to the Oracle, and he's doing more than holding his own. It's in the Radiant jungle where the action's breaking out. Franz rotating in to put some pressure on Snake King, and really just kind of being an irritant right now, leeching some of the XP. And Beastmaster is one of those jungling heroes that has to tank some of the creep damage to be able to make it happen. So there are these windows where you can catch him relatively low and sometimes mess up his rotation as such.
Yep, or steals creeps, things like that.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
Franz doesn't get that much out of it, but he does grab a bounty rune now based on some of his earlier experience gain. Now he's level 2. So their ability to get a kill is a little bit higher now.
Yeah, Patsol going in on the MJW. Just some good harassment here. He's still going to hold on to the Surge, but
Yeah, he's just
Still
trying to get
feeling
damage in when he can, because he knows that most of the time he can't actually harass. But because there are no creeps, then he couldn't. That's a roam
there's
kill on mid.
that rotation. Yeah, I caught the second half of it as the Elder Titan just rotated in. An easy setup for the Tinker. 747 gets the bonus gold.
And that was just with Spirit and Stomp, although he did have Boots advantage. That's a really nice kill.
Yeah.
And he gets the D-ward here.
In trouble down bottom, stun, Hex. This is going to chase him down. This is the double melee Ion Shell you were talking about. With the Surge, it's actually pretty ridiculous. MJW might possibly fall for this. Rage comes out, he eats the Fairy Fire, but now the Spirit's here. Darkseer will live. He pops a Salve as well as a Clarity. Ends up just being a quick kill for FDL.
Yeah, he wants to get the Elder Titan, but I don't think he realizes how fast he is. He's got Boots and the Spirit movement speed running for 410 here. They can maybe still kill the Lifestealer, but it's tough. I mean, they're both strength. Well, Darkseer has the HP of a strength hero in the early game, that's for sure. So it's hard to kill Lifestealer when he can take so much from you with Feast. They'll keep pressuring. They're getting some stuff done here, and they're making it hard for him to farm.
Yeah. Both safe lane carries doing pretty well though. Terrorblade 19 last hits, Lifestealer 17, both in pretty good shape. And again, Void Boys have rotated things around. Snake King's now moved into the off lane with his Iron Talon. He's level 4, and Clairvoyance is still just kind of moving around. He's hit level 3, hanging out in the Roche pit for now, putting pressure down on the bottom. So it has turned into a more traditional 1-1-3 from Void Boys as they get him out of the jungle. Looks like Claire will just suicide into Roche. That free trip back to the fountain.
Let's see what he bought. He's close to his either Tranquil Boots or Soul Ring, usually buy Soul Ring first, just so you can continuously cast. He's level 3 now. He's doing fine, considering that he's been essentially roaming.
Yeah.
Rest of the levels, though, Lion's level 2, Sand King's almost level 3, so they're about even. So it looks like everybody else in the game is about equal.
Yeah, fairly comparable. He spent quite a bit of time in the lane at the beginning, so that's where that extra bit of experience has come from. He's also been holding on to this Smoky Deceit for a little while, so at least a sign that he wants to stay aggressive, make more rotations as this early game continues. Drops a ward down right outside of the easy camp here, the pole camp for FDL. Get a little intel into this way so we can at least leech the XP and try to snipe some of these last hits.
Yeah, this is great to do. And it's going to get Snake King to 6 a little bit faster, and now Timbersaw and Oracle have to play more worried. It's great. Although Terrorblade has already shifted the jungle, this is something that you can do on him if you want to jungle. Just need a Quelling Blade because it'll enhance your damage so much.
Yeah, I haven't really seen this too much, but you're right. Especially if you have a poor man's shield as well, jungling's no big problem. You know, we didn't really talk about it too much after the drafts are done, but do you feel like these drafts are pretty even? Like, does one team have a pretty clear advantage here? Because I'm looking at both of these, and I feel like it'll be a pretty action-packed mid-game with, both teams have fairly team fight-oriented lineups.
Yeah, I'm not the best judge of this usually, but I think both teams do have a pretty good purpose. I'm not quite sure yet which one is going to hit at the right time. FDL certainly has the better early game though, so if they can exploit the early to mid game with like a Death Prophet Terrorblade push at like 15 minutes or something before Tinker has Blink Dagger, then they can get some good advantage and possibly take some great team fights. And it'll also come down to Blink Dagger on Sand King as well. That'll be their transitional team fight tool, in addition to the Sand King or the Darkseer having mech and Blink of his own.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Sand King pickup. This hero in this kind of a role often, it reminds me of like an Enchantress a little bit, where if his early rotations work out, he can get a lot of momentum and kind of take over the game, but if he doesn't get that early farm, it's really hard for him to have that strong presence. The Blink Dagger will be absolutely core for him. Not a huge amount of Blink Dagger carriers for FDL, so there will be some onus on him as well as MJW to get those big initiations, use those blinks. Always potential for some wombo combo, though, like, you know, a vac wall into silence from the Death Prophet with a follow-up epicenter. That could be pretty devastating at almost any stage of the game, especially now that we've been seeing Death Prophets go for that Veil build, usually Veil first item. A lot of natural synergy just with the Dark Seer as well as the Sand King for those mid-game fights.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. It doesn't look like the best Veil game due to Tinker, but all the other heroes on Void Boys, they kind of need it for that reason, and like you said, a lot of the damage coming from FDL is very magic-based. Veil has got to be the pickup here for DP.
Yeah. Bronze gets himself another bounty rune. That's pretty nice. Now level 4 on the Sand King. Brown boots and 1,000 gold. He's about halfway to the blink. Really not a bad start for 7 minutes in. How's the Lion looking? Yeah, not quite as fat, but he's at least now level 5. Up top, Sand King. Yeah, he's going to get Primal Roared. Is it going to be enough for a kill? It sure is. Sand King. Snake King's there. I'm confusing my kings. Is he going to be able to make this one away, though? The Purifying Flame starting to heal him back up. He does have a TP scroll. He's going to go for it, but Echo Stomp is there. Not going to... Oh, he's on his team. My God, I'm all over the place tonight, Purge. Jesus.
That was really nicely done by Elder Titan to be there. Great Boar micro as well. He just got a free kill and he got out. That's nicely done.
Yeah, that was really good. Showing the power of the Beastmaster. You know, when he just gets a little bit of time in the jungle, he can easily find solo kills at level 6, level 7 with Primal Roar. His damage output is
line in
nuts.
trouble bottom.
Yep, Omega Pawner gets off the stun. He's going to try to walk away. Now the counter head. Fat Soul goes in with Rage and Franz. He's going down. Yeah, Sand King. Keep buying flames him, right? That's what got him so low.
Yeah, he accidentally clicked on his Sand King instead of the line. He messed up pretty bad there. And if he was level 4 when the Beastmaster ganked him top just now, he could have saved himself with a Fate's Edict, Purifying Flames, but he's still level 3 and didn't have the skill points. So, I mean, that's two big things that just happened due to Sand King maybe not getting as much as he needs to in the early game. And this is kind of a consistent problem for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that gold graph. 2k net worth favor for Void Boys, about 750 XP. Pretty good start. All 3 of their cores are top 3 on the net worth chart, and it might even get better. Sand King down bottom, about to get rotated on. Omega Pawner around the backside, opens up with the Hex. Patzel goes in with the Rage, follow-up stun. This will be more than enough to kill the Oracle as they bring in the help from the Elder Titan, the Spirit. Extra little bit of damage. 4-1, Void Boys starting to take control of this game. No points in natural order yet, and it feels like they're dropping like flies. Their lineup hasn't even really come online. That's the scariest part here, Purge.
Yeah, they needed to get a little bit more out of their laning stage. Maybe stabilize a bit, grab a smoke with Death Prophet, shift to the off lane, get like a double kill. Stuff like that is definitely a possibility if they just have Darkseer, Sand King, Death Prophet. But they're kind of getting pressure in all lanes. Like their top safe lane is already dead.
Yeah, and that's just an easy push from Snake King, straight up realizing there's some pressure down bottom, their attention is split, and he takes that opportunity to knock the tower down. CCNC had an opportunity to go for the deny there. Instead, he goes to pressure the hero directly, and the Boar actually gets the last hit. That's a nice win for Void Boys, and if we check in on this graph again, it's already jumped up by an additional 50%. More than that, actually, nearly 4k net worth at only 9 minutes. This is a very sizable lead.
Well,
BOT's up on the Tinker.
They should get Beastmaster here, and that should translate to a tower afterwards at least.
Yep, Metamorphosis going to come out. There it is. Snake King, no hope to survive this one. More than enough damage as now they pop the Exorcism. This is the beginning of that timing push you were talking about with the Terrorblade. Between that 10 and 15 minute mark, and he's able to strike hot. Maxed out. Yeah, Conjure Illusion. Nope, he's good. 3 points in the Metamorphosis. That'll be an easy tier 1 tower that goes to Bean.
Yeah, they really needed that there. Luckily for them, they get the kill, and they get wards down as well. So they used all their ultimates, and luckily they didn't lose the Darkseer in the meantime. So everything went great for FDL in the last minute.
Yep. Nice turnaround of the game with a sign of life, but 747 gets his BOTs. Always scary in the hands of the Tinker. Now he can start moving around the map, farming a lot more.
And no stacks though.
That's true. Jungle's completely empty.
Well, his skill build is ideal for farming either way, so he'll be okay there. Comes down to can FDL pressure correctly.
Yeah, I wonder what build he's going to transition into. We've seen a lot of Tinkers now experimenting with the Aetherlens Ags build and just spamming out those rockets. Really annoying.
Oh, CCNC in trouble mid.
Yeah, 747 trying to bait it out. Is it going to go the other way? Stun Finger from Lion drops the Oracle, but Tinker won't be able to survive through it. They trade 1-for-1 support for core. Even though Void Boys get the kill first, definitely not the exchange they were hoping for there.
Yeah, I don't think that was worth it. He could have just stunned Death Prophet and ran past, possibly survived. Like, all he did there was trade, yeah, support for core and Finger of Death, and now he can't use that in the future for like 2.5 minutes. Like, that was kind of a poor choice by Lion, in my opinion. He really let his Tinker out to dry. The only reason Tinker was playing aggressive was because he knew he had a Lion there. So,
right.
Yeah, that was just a bad play, bad communication from Void Boys.
Dragon Lance on the way for Terrorblade now. He's level 9, happily seated as the king of the net worth chart, ahead of the Life Stealer. So times have changed just with that split push mid lane. Are we going to see a fight break out here? Rockets? Nope, both sides just going to back out. How's Sand King doing in terms of blink progression? Well, not so well. He stopped off for some arcane boots, so still
and
a
the
good
win
pickup.
lace.
Yeah, and the win lace.
Yeah, he's doing fine, but getting level 6 is pretty important here. I mean, he should really have it by now, because as soon as he gets it, somebody dies. Like, almost every time. The only person they can't kill is probably Life Stealer, because he can rage after the stun ends, and that stops the epicenter damage. But as soon as you get 6 on Sand King, you turn it into a smoke ink and you get a kill. But because his 6 is now delayed, then it's 12 minutes now. He's going to try to get a kill here, but it's not going to do anything, because Life Stealer is just going to rage.
Yeah, they did use their tome. I wonder if he's the one that actually read it, or if it went the way of the Oracle, because he is almost level 7, so he's well into level 6. Both their supports really have key ultimate, so we'll see if they can make something happen down bottom.
This is what can work. They can do stun into silence. I would buy them 3 seconds at least.
But the Elder Titan Spirit gonna scout things out. Sand King comes in with a stun. Silence follow up on the Pad Soul. He's in a lot of trouble here, but could still find the rage. They bring down the Darkseer right away. A double damage rune on 747. Even the auto attack's gonna hurt here. And Best gonna keep Pad Soul alive a little bit longer. It's a big rotation from Void Boys and an overcommitment from FDL, being deep into the tower. Still a 4-on-2, and I think this is gonna end even worse for Friendship, Dedication, Love. Clairvoyance connects with an Echo Stomp. They set it up with a stun, and it's the end of the TB. A 1-for-4. FDL get the high prize Life Stealer target, but an obvious disastrous fight there. About 2k net worth swing. Void Boys take it handily.
Yeah, I think the way they needed to do that differently maybe is that they smoke approach. They did basically walk to the lane, let the Death Prophet rotate over. There weren't any wards that spotted the rotation, but if you know that the heroes are there, and they did because Sand King walked through lane, then they're gonna just naturally react to it and look for the gank possibility, especially if DP misses. What you have to do to make those more effective, might be killing Darkseer here.
Yep, stun. Snake King doesn't have a Primal Roar, but they've got a Finger of Death. Tinker comes in. It's the end of the Darkseer. Another quick recovery kill for the Void Boys. Power also does go their way. Very nice. That's just the cherry on top right there.
No kidding. They just have to make their gank setups faster. They have to go immediately from Death Prophet disappearing from mid, and then less than 15 or 20 seconds later they have to start a fight. And they have to do it without their opponents anticipating or seeing it. And it's very difficult at these high levels.
Gonna hop into our Soylent instant replay here, relive the madness in that bottom fight. To watch the Tinker move around the map. It really did seem like an okay setup. Pad Soul, it was the exact rotation you were talking about, where they hit him with a stun, a silence, and then it was like the entire Void Boys team just appeared, and the damage shined through. The Tinker in those kind of close quarter scenarios is actually pretty disgusting. He did a lot that fight.
Yeah, they had to kill the Life Stealer like right away. They probably had to pop Exorcism as the stun came through.
Yep. Down in the bottom lane. Uh-oh. Are we going to see a potential kill? Snake King going to make it out. All right, just putting some pressure on the tower. 747, he goes in deep onto the Necro units. Drops some rockets. MJW takes some damage. Franz has a stun in 1 second as well as an epicenter. He will channel it. 747, he's going to get the hell out of dodge. He doesn't quite have the damage, but Franz dying to the march. He lives on 30 HP. Darkseer not going to be so lucky. A 1-for-1.
I thought that was a double. I thought for sure that was going to be a double. I was like, no, Sand King, don't run that way. But he made it out, man. They got the good kill at least. That was a big mistake from Susie, basically. That was way too aggressive a TP, and he needed to do that earlier if he was going to go for that.
Yeah, it took me a second to process what was going on. For some reason, I thought it was somebody from FDL TPing into the tower to just come defend. And it's like, no, that's the Tinker on a Necro unit. Oh my god, he's in deep.
They're going to be doing that a lot. You can teleport onto the Elder Titan Spirit as well. So there's going to be many cases where Tinker teleports onto a Beastmaster Hawk, a Elder Titan Spirit, or a Necro Summon to jump in and have a good fight.
Yep. DP going for kind of an interesting build here. She went for the Wind Lace, stopped off for just a casual Vitality booster, and now going back into the Yule Scepter. So it's not that Veil of Discord we were talking about. I like the idea to just grab a casual Vitality booster, get yourself some extra HP, benefit from that healing, and then just go right back into the kind of classic utility item, the movement speed to set up the Yule Scepter. Very well-rounded build.
Yeah, it's great as well because of Oracle. If she gets low, then she has more max HP that she can heal up to an insane amount. So that HP could pay twice.
Yeah, Omega Pawner going to get caught in the bottom lane. Easy setup there for the Sand King with the Ion Shell from the Darkseer.
And the Blink's up for Tinker. It's close to Sand King. Looks like Darkseer's about to finish his mech pretty late on him, but they did have a dual lane.
Yeah, 16 minutes, not ideal, but you know, Darkseer is always one of those staple heroes that'll find some farm. You know, his team fight prowess will come online. Clairvoyance down bottom, Soul Siphon to start things off. Load into Oblivion here. The Spirit's going to come back, but CCNC is just going to get surged up, and they don't even need it. He jukes the Crypt Swarm. That's cute. A little bit of space created. Echo Stomp on 4. He doesn't have a TP.
He had a TP. Oh my god.
So that's unfortunate. I mean, big potential plays for Clairvoyance here. They might still be able to clean this up. The Tinker's on the way in. Rocket's coming aplenty. Laser will finish off the Darkseer. CCNC on the run. He's completely out of mana. Patsol's just going to chase him down. False Promise will come in. Buys him a little bit of time, but I think he's dead afterwards. It's going to pop and... okay, survives the damage, but not going to be able to survive the Lion and the help of the right clicks from the creeps who actually secure the kill. Again, they get the high-prized Elder Titan, but the plays from Clairvoyance actually set that up for a turnaround. Echo Stomp on 4.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part was that four-man Echo Stomp completely did it. Like, if in CCNC he missed his wave. If he hit his wave, the Elder Titan dies before he gets that stomp off. Everybody takes less damage. There's less time for Tinker to heal and get back in time to kill Darkseer. It affected everything because they didn't rapidly kill him. And maybe they're on a different page. To start that gank off, it was just CCNC. They need to all be there.
Up top, here we go. The Memester going to be in a lot of trouble. Echo Stomp comes out. Can he get off Asunder? The answer is no. 747 with the burst damage. These setups from Void Boys are just incredible. Really using that global presence. Also the Hawk that the Tinker can teleport to. There are a lot of units that he can join the party with, and nothing really preventing them from just rinsing and repeating with those kind of ganks.
Yeah, that's why the Tinker made this draft so good, is because, like you said, he can show up to any of those ganks. They're going mid.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go in indeed. Dragon on the way. Finger from onto CCNC. Follow-up damage not quite there. Tinker might be able to come in, but no. Oracle saves him just in time. Purifying Flame's going to heal him back up. This Drake going to be a big nuisance for FDL, though. It's just going to tank the tower, lay in some auto attacks, and this should result in just a free tier 1 tower kill in favor of Void Boys.
I mean, that should have been a Death Prophet kill. Lion chose not to Hex there, and he probably should have committed the Disable because he used Finger. They didn't get the kill, though. FDL would have gone for that if they had Oracle ulti as well, so very, very dangerous there for Void Boys, but nobody gets punished in this.
MJW, he'll get punished down bottom. Again, the setup comes out. All the damage from the Tinker makes it a reality. 747 rewarded again. Now the Void Boys all grouped up as 5. Maybe they can put some pressure on this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. I feel like the Tinker is really starting to get out of control. He's up to 2,400 gold, though conversely, all the while, Terrorblade's just been happily farming. He's picked up a Dragonlance, now a Yasha. He's pretty much keeping up with the Tinker. Tinker's going for hero kills, and the Terrorblade's going for neutral kills, it seems like.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. Tinker can farm neutrals really fast, arguably as fast as Terrorblade, but also get kills in the meantime. So there's no way that Terrorblade will be able to match this in farm, and at some point, Tinker will be stronger than Terrorblade will, just because he can chain hex him. So this is looking real bad for FDL. They need to get more farm on their Death Prophet, and they need to get some ganks and fights going.
Yep. Uh-oh, Dyer's Courier going to be picked off here as well. That hurts. Where was he? Oh, just flying over.
Secret shop. Yeah,
Secret
it was
shop,
hiding there because of the Hawk.
Very nice. That's just a little bit of extra gold for the Void Boys. They'll also get the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. There's a big influx of cash going their way. All of a sudden, 7,500 net worth lead, and we're going to start seeing a bigger disparity across these inventories. Lifestealer, someone we haven't really checked in on. Infest Bomb inside of the Lion. Now just going to move into a Desolator after his Echo Saver Armlet. Going for these early value items, he is definitely in fighting shape.
Yeah, he's quite stacked right now. It's a big threat to FDL. They've got a couple defensive heroes, but they don't want to always have to be sitting behind everyone. There's too many heroes to defend. They're going to smoke here and try to get a Tinker kill, or somebody.
Yeah, we'll see who they can find. Blink Dagger on Sand Kings opens up some possibilities. Snake King mid. He's got the level 3 Necro Book. He's just going to go right in onto CCNC. Oh my god. uncharacteristic of CC, but Snake King capitalizes, and that is an easy pickup right there.
Yeah, their scans spotted the supports as well. He got too greedy trying to kill the Necros, killed the melee, and he punishes him.
And now they get a pick off on the Darkseer as well. This has just gone from bad to worse for FDL. This game was kind of relatively even until the last 5 minutes, and it seems like things are just crumbling. They're getting picked off left and right. They're losing towers, losing couriers. Now Void Boys just move right into the Roche pit. This is kind of almost, not quite the nail in the coffin, but this is really getting them a lot of momentum.
Yeah, it really is. The only way FDL comes back at this point is if they start winning team fights. And they still can. They've got really good heroes for that with Sand King and Darkseer. But it seems that the ganking for Void Boys is being executed better, and they have the better heroes for it. So they need to change something fast. They need to start fights and win some fights too.
Yeah, I really like this Vlad's pickup, though, on the Beastmaster. They're just itemizing so well to be very strong at this stage of the game, but opening up some possibilities to scale. The Tinker has his Aether Lens, so he can sit back, blast in rockets from far.
It's
Everything
tough, man.
coming into life here for the Void Boys.
And with Elder Titan now, any armor that FDL has is basically removed because he's already level 10. So he's got tons of minus armor. Like, they just don't have very good survivability, and it increases the damage that the rockets do. Like, Void Boys as heroes, they all fit together so ridiculously well this game.
Yeah, I feel like they need a Vlad's and they need a pipe on FDL. I mean, they need a lot of things, but they just need some plus armor items to help deal with the natural order, and a pipe is so warranted against the Tinker. And there's a lot of other magical damage as well from the Elder Titan, the Lion, even the Beastmaster. I mean, he does a decent chunk of magic damage himself.
Yeah, if there's a Spirit on Death Prophet, she has 0 armor if she's not by her towers.
Yeah, exactly. That +3 of the tower protection actually makes a pretty big difference. This Terrorblade at home defending. They are trying to split push a little bit up top. The Earth Splitter comes in, just break things up around the tower. There's no glyph for FDL right now, so this tower is just going to get slowly chunked down by Boars and Necro units. Franz comes in with a stun, not going to connect, and it will just be a tier 3 tower in favor of the Void Boys. They still have the Aegis of the Immortal doing a good job slowing their roll here. CC&C, the one that gets initiated on, but False Promise comes out. Decent damage onto Patsoul and Omega Potter, but Franz doesn't get his ultimate off. They will trade away their Lion. CC&C gets off the Yules, but there should be big damage when he comes back down. How fast he falls to the Natty Order. 3 heroes left alive for FDL. They're low on HP and they will be forced back. Patsoul just barely survives with some armlet toggling. Still holding on to the Aegis. A 1-for-2. Great fight for VB to get this started.
Yeah, FDL had to take it to that point because Oracle ultied the Death Prophet at a poor time. He was a little bit late, and then at that point, it's like, okay, we have to fight. That's our Oracle ulti. They went for it. They got crushed. It was a great bro strike, but he didn't get to channel Epicenter first. So they didn't have the follow-up, but now they're going to lose their racks at 23 minutes.
Yeah, easy ranged barracks, melee may just fall shortly after. They've got the Desolator, so it falls actually really fast, especially with the help of the Inner Beast. They'll try to go in onto Patsoul, but he just rages and walks back. This should be the end of it, though. Tinker on his way in. He's got the Aghanim Scepter. This is a huge upgrade at this stage. So many rockets flying through. It's going to be hard for FDL to really take a fight. It looks like Void Boys are just going to back up, recollect themselves, and maybe continue to put the pressure on and just go straight for the bottom lane. They still have the Aegis for another 2.5 minutes, so they've got a big window here, Purge.
They have a window for like 10 minutes here, actually. they're super far ahead. Their opponents don't have good solutions to not having armor right now. They don't have the time to farm the difference. They're hitting them with 4 missiles every time they press the rocket button. They would need a mech every like rearm to offset this.
Yeah.
They should have smoked here, probably. They could have gotten a good fight, possibly 2 heroes, if they did smoke out of their base. But
well, Tinker's on the way in. Franz misses his stuns, and here we go. Terrorblade, the target of choice. Finger brings him down before he can sunder. Franz trying to sandstorm his way out of it, but it's not going to happen. 24 minutes in, the Void Boys force a GG. A complete brutality, 22-8, in only 24 minutes of gameplay. Very impressive stuff out of Void Boys.
Yeah, the FDL didn't get enough out of their dual offlane. Beastmaster still got a decent amount. Elder Titan got a decent amount. The Oracle is slightly behind, but if the dual offlane doesn't do enough, then you need to instantly grab smokes and get Death Prophet in the game. Because if you don't, there's not going to be any ganks happening on the map. You have to do fights and lane advantage, and they just kind of lost every lane on FDL's side. They